Namandam, 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 namandam.
Good morning.
Good
Welcome,
morning.
welcome, and thank you for joining us for today's Dharma Family Service, either in person or virtually on via Zoom. I am Wendy Terada, and I will serve as your MC. Assisting at the temple with technical support are Zoom crew members Alan Matsumoto, Lynn Katayama, and Stephen Kaneko. Corrine Chong is our organist, and Betty Takioka will lead the singing. Please rise and let us start the service with the Vandana and Tisarana. Please chant both the Pali and English parts together with Reverend Blayne. Those of you on Zoom, be sure you have muted your mics.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namanda, Butsunamanda, 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 Butsunamanda.
Please remain standing for an aspiration which I will share with you from the vows of the Bodhisattva. The many beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Greed, hatred, and ignorance rise endlessly. I vow to abandon them. Dharma gates are countless. I vow to wake them. Buddha's way is unsurpassed. I vow to embody it fully. Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu.
Please be seated. It is now time for offering of incense. We invite all Sangha members in attendance to please come up and offer incense if you wish, starting with the front rows and moving towards the back. Please use both incense burners. Let us observe a moment of silent meditation. Reverend Blayne will now lead us in chanting the sutra 12 Homages or English Junidai. Words can be found on the laminated sheets in the back of the pews and on the screen.
The Junidai, or 12 Homages, was composed by Nagarjuna, the first of the 7 masters of Jodo Shinshu. Nagarjuna celebrates the beauty, grandeur, and preciousness of the Pure Land, which manifests the virtues of Amida Buddha and expresses the desire to be born in the realm of enlightenment. The phrase Koga Chodai Mida Son, or thus I bow to Amida, is repeated 10 times and has the same meaning as Namo Amida Butsu. This expression of dedication reminds us of our commitment to the Buddha and the land of peace, where everyone attains the highest fulfillment of Buddhahood. Godzen meno bawino to Amida the revered in Buddha's wondrous pure land. Bodhisattvas gather round, golden form like the mountain king, steadfast like the elephant's pace, Buddha's eyes like the blue lotus. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's form round like the moon, bright like 1,000 suns and moons, Buddha's voice like the nightingale. Thus I bow to Amida, Buddha's figure on Kanon's crown, adorned with wondrous features. Buddha subdues evilness. Thus I bow to Amida, beyond compare Amida's pure, virtues shining clear like space, all benefit from Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida. Bodhisattvas all renown, Maras to praise Amida. Primal vow made for our sake, thus I bow to Amida. Golden ponds where lotus bloom, towers a throne of goodness. Buddha lives like the mountain king, thus I bow to Amida. Bodhisattvas come afar, attaining true happiness. They revere the Buddha's face, thus I bow to Amida. All life changes like the dew. We have no permanent self. Buddha teaches this law to all. Thus I bow to Amida. No evil in the pure land, and no fear of evil paths. Faithful hearts honor Buddha. Thus I bow to Amida, saving us through many ways. No tempters, no evil friends. Birth leads to enlightenment. Thus I bow to Amida. Amida, thus I have praised. Virtues boundless like the sea. These virtues shared with others, for birth into the pure land. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born Bunamanna, 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 bunamanna.
Please rise for singing of the Gada Shoshu Jodo Shinshu Rocks. Words can be found on page 2 in the orange folders and on the screen. Again, page 2 in the orange folders.
Shinran was a common man, started out life as a poor orphan. Pure land teaching is for you. Live your life in the Nimbutsu, singing Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu, Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu. Siddhartha was a special man, born a prince of the Shaka clan. At his birth it rained sweet tea, now we call it Anamatsuri, singing Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu, Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu. Amida teaches harmony, he is always calling me. Kindness to all living things, this is what your heart will sing. Louder, sing! Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu, Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu. Suffering is all around, noble truths are so profound. We can end our misery, Eightfold Path will be the key. Singing Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu, Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu. I am a link in the golden chain, stretching round this world of pain. Keep my link bright and strong, except the Dharma can't go wrong. Singing Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu, Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu. Primal law, wait for our sake, Buddha nature will awake. Repeat his name is all you do, just recite the Nimbutsu, singing Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu, Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu. Try your best and do what's right, you will see Amida's light. Buddha's always there for you, Namu Amida Butsu, singing Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu, Jodo, Jodo, Shinshu, Shinshu. We will rock you, rock you. We will gasho.
You may be seated. Reverend Blayne will now share a Dharma message.
So yesterday, I was so excited to listen to a new episode of my favorite podcast called On Being with Krista Tippett, which began as a show on public radio over 20 years ago. Now, On Being is a conversation with wise and graceful lives across spiritual inquiry and science, social healing, and the arts. Each week, Krista shares insights from amazing individuals who discuss the following life-giving questions. What does it mean to be human? How do we want to live? And who will we be to each other? After a break of several months, the first episode of the new year featured a conversation between Krista Tippett and psychologist Dasher Keltner, who discussed the science of awe. In her introduction, Krista shares, "To me, one of the most fascinating developments of our time is that human qualities we have understood in terms of virtue, experiences we've called spiritual, are now being taken seriously by science as intelligence, as elements of human wholeness. And Dasher Keltner and his Greater Good Science Center at Berkeley have been pivotal in this emergence. From the earliest years of his career, Dasher investigated how emotions are coded in the muscles of our faces, right? And how they serve as moral sensory systems the way of feeling like sadness or fear or a sense of injustice, goes on to infuse how we see everything that's happened or that's happening. He was called on as emojis evolved. You know, on your cell phone, you have the emojis. Right? He consulted on Peter Docter's groundbreaking movie, Inside Out. Anybody saw the movie Inside Out? Yeah? On all of this, as Dasher sees it now, led him deeper and deeper into investigating the primary experience of awe in human life. Moments that we have a sense of wonder, an experience of mystery that transcends our understanding. These, it turns out, are as common in human life globally as they are measurably health-giving and immunity-boosting. They bring us together with others again and again. They bring our nervous systems, our heartbeat and breath into sync, and even into sync with other bodies around us. This science is a widely accessible, minute-to-minute invitation to practice a common human experience that is literally life-giving and nourishing and actively good for this world of pain and promise that we inhabit. You know, this fascinating conversation that she had with Dasher Keltner led me to reflect on how the Buddha's teachings have guided us in experiencing awe over the past several thousand years. The story of Shakyamuni Buddha's birth, his enlightenment, and his death reveals to us a spiritual journey of eternal becoming in which we discover our true inner real light. In his final moments, he encouraged us, his disciples, to make of yourself a light. Rely upon yourself. Do not depend on anyone else. Make my teachings your light. Rely upon them. Do not depend upon any other teaching. We continue to revere these words by reflecting on the infinite light and life of the Buddha with profound gratitude for the gift of living with awe and wonder each and every day. Shakyamuni Buddha's lived an extraordinary yet mortal life. And he is said to have entered peacefully into perfect tranquility at the age of 80. Teaching until his last moment, his living and his dying were lessons illuminating the eternal truths found in the Dharma. According to Professor Takamado Shigaraki, yet the teaching or Dharma that he expounded represents a universal principle that pervades the world, reaching all places and remaining valid in all periods of time. Accordingly, both his teachings and his life are praised as being eternal. Spatially, they extend out to guide all people and turn them towards an infinite future. This immortalization of Shakyamuni Buddha is a realization that his death was only the end of the physical body, because the true Buddha is enlightenment itself, and he would exist forever in the truth of the Dharma and in the practice of the Dharma. The Buddha is still teaching and lives on in the lives of all who practice the path of awe and the way of universal liberation that he shared. The late Vietnamese Buddhist master Thich Nhat Hanh believed, we teach by our way of life. We teach with our hands while we are doing things, with our feet while we are walking, with our mouth when we are eating or speaking, and with our eyes when we are looking. This simply means teaching the Dharma by the way we live our daily life. This is what Shakyamuni Buddha taught us as he lay dying beneath the twin sallow trees, that if we were only to see his physical body, we were not truly seeing him, but only by accepting and living his teachings, we would truly see him. And we see him everywhere in our lives. The truth of the Dharma, the truth of life, of the laws of the universe, we see every day. The sun, when we wake up in the morning, the beautiful moon that we saw last night, going to see Madame Pele early in the morning with the bubbling lava, right? Going to the shoreline to see the ocean, right? We experience awe in so many wonderful ways, right? The beautiful eyes of a child, right? Caring for a loved one who is dying, right? These moments of awe, of human wonder, of human connection, of human relationships, that's where awe exists. And that's what the Dharma is teaching us, to experience these moments of our lives with joy, with gratitude. In Shin Buddhism, we strive to live with the spirit of Jishin Kyo Ningxing. You can see it up there on the board. To secure our own entrusting heart to the Dharma, guiding others to do the same. This is the life of Nembutsu that was taught to us by Shinran Shonin. Our ordinary life is our place of practice where we encounter our true self within the embrace of great wisdom and compassion. This is how Shinran continues to live on through us as we walk the path he shared. However, isn't this a most challenging task? It often seems like the life of Shakyamuni is so far removed from our own lives that the practice of living with profound awe that he shared is so elusive, right? How often do we get caught up in our daily lives and we don't see the beauty all around us? We don't appreciate all that's in front of us, all that is happening to us, because we are distracted. We are not being mindful of our lives, right? And so we need help connecting us to that which is true and real and eternal. In Buddhism, we call this the finger pointing to the moon. It's a famous, metaphor, right? And so Professor Shigaraki shares, between the finger and the moon lies a vast distance. As a result, we are able to see the moon for the first time only because of the finger, right? In concrete terms, only through the words of the teachings expounded by the Buddha, or through the human personality of those who have learned the teachings and walked the path before us, right? That we need something or someone in our life to help make that connection, right? Connect us to the moon, right? And Shigaraki continues by saying, if we were to look up into the heavens on our own, we might not look toward the moon, right? We might look past it or look at other things. Without question, there must be a finger, the Dharma, or a person who can relate it to us, that can teach us about the moon. For us, the story of Amida Buddha is that finger. This entire teaching of Amida Buddha is the finger, but that teaching is not Amida Buddha itself. All of the many teachings that expounded Amida Buddha constitute the finger, the realm of awakening or enlightenment, which Gautama Buddha realized in his own life, as well as ultimate truth value, constitutes the moon. Right? Amida helps us to see the truth of life, the truth of the Dharma, connects us to that which is true and real. The Nembutsu is the activity of Amida Buddha which connects us to the moon. It connects us to awe. It is the ultimate reminder of the world of awakening that is always present in our lives. Amida Buddha as Namo Amida Butsu is our simple yet profound practice of living within the embrace of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion. Shinran's master, Honen Shonin, whose image is on the scroll back here, wrote the following poem entitled Moonlight, which describes Amida's working, which connects us to that which is true and real. He writes, though the moon shines all over the world, leaving no corner in darkness, only those who gaze upon the moon appreciate its serene light. And so as I saw the beautiful moon last night, shining in the sky, I was filled with awe as the Nembutsu rose from deep within and rolled out from my lips in gratitude. The power of being together here in this temple is the practice of awe, of coming together as Sangha, of chanting together, of saying the Nembutsu together. That's the power of awe. Our chanting of the sutra is a meditative act which settles our heart and mind so we can experience this feeling of awe together. In the 12 homages that we chanted this morning, Nagarjuna, the first of the 7 masters of Jodo Shinshu, describes the beauty and the wonder of the Pure Land, inspiring our deepest wish to be born there. For over 20 years, scientists like Dasher Keltner have studied the science of awe and have found that the research suggests that experiencing awe may lead to a wide range of benefits, from happiness and health to perhaps more unexpected benefits, such as generosity, humility, and critical thinking. In our busy lives, seeking awe may be low on our list of priorities, but we might be underestimating its power. According to Dr. Keltner, one simple prescription can have transformative effects. Look for more daily experiences of awe. Right? Lucky we live Hawaii. Right? Journeying together on the path of Nembutsu, we live connected to the dynamic flow of Amida's infinite life. We live with the awe-inspiring vows of the Bodhisattva. The many beings are numberless. I vow to save them. Greed, hatred, and ignorance rise endlessly. I vow to abandon them. Dharma gates are countless. I vow to wake to them. Buddha's way is unsurpassed. I vow to embody it fully. So, on Nirvana Day, we reflect on the eternal light of Shakyamuni Buddha that lives on in the truth and in the practice of his teachings of living with profound wonder and awe. And so, please join me in Gasho as we recite the Buddha's name, entrusting in the dynamic activity of all-inclusive wisdom and all-embracing compassion. We call the honored name of Amida, the Buddha of infinite light and life, in gratitude, joy, awareness, and awe. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Nammanda Butsu. Nammanda Butsu. Nammanda Butsu. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for your message, Reverend Blayne. Elaine Nakagawa will lead us in unison reading of our pledge. Words can be found on the handouts and on the screen. Please join her in reciting the words out loud.
Reaching out to others, I will share a smile and gentle words, just like the Buddha who always calls out with aloha. Breaking away from my greed, anger, and ignorance, I will try to live in peace and harmony, just like the Buddha who shares tranquility and kindness with all. Moving forward with all self-centeredness, I shall life of joy and sorrow with others, just like the Buddha whose caring heart always embraces us. Realizing that I live because of others, I will strive to live life to the fullest with an attitude of gratitude, just like the Buddha who promises to embrace us all.
Thank you, Elaine. We will now have the offertory presentation. Mahalo for your generosity, everyone. Please stand as we will conclude this service with singing of the Gatha Nembutsu.
Namandab, 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 namandab.
You may be seated. This concludes today's service. Here are some announcements. Upcoming schedule of services, events, and reminders. Excuse me. Next Sunday, February 12th at 10 a.m., we will observe Nirvana Day service or Shakyamuni Buddha's memorial service. In-person guest speaker will be Reverend Christina Moon, a Rinzai Zen priest from Daihonzan Chozenji on Oahu. On Sunday, February 19th, we will conduct the annual Kyodang membership meeting. At 10 a.m., we will start with a short service in remembrance of Sangha members who passed away last year, honor our Kerokai members who have reached the age of 80, and welcome new members. The membership meeting will occur after the service, which will be followed by a New Year's luncheon with Ono food, fellowship, and lucky number drawings. To get a good head count for lunch, please register by Friday, February 10th by calling the office or clicking on the link and filling out the simple online form which was included in Reverend Blayne's email this past Friday. If you are here in person today and have not yet registered, please sign in on the form provided at the front table, which will also be circulated during refreshments. At 10 a.m., a 10 a.m. regular Dharma Family Service and BWA membership meeting will be held on Sunday, February 26th. Save the date for this year's Hawaii Association of International Buddhists, or Hey Buddha Day service, which will be held on Sunday, March 12 at 9:30 a.m. here at Konohonganji. This year's theme is Buddhism and mental health, and a guest speaker will be Dr. Bart Aoki, who is the son of the late Kazuyoshi and Ethel Aoki. He will speak on resilience in our lives. We have reminders. Be sure to open, read, and click on attachments and interesting links that were included with Reverend Blayne's weekly update, which he emailed this past Friday. If you have not done so yet, please pick up your pre-ordered 2023 Hompa Honganji Mission of Hawaii calendars, 125th anniversary souvenir booklet and appreciation gift, and free COVID test kits. 125th anniversary merchandise items are also still available for purchase. Dartmouth College sophomore Bryn Jasper, whose family is a member of Windward Buddhist Temple on Oahu, is still looking for a room to rent for 2 months while she interns at an algae farm at Nelha. Her internship is from April 4th to mid-June this year. She is willing to rent a room for $600 to $900 a month and also plans to rent a car. If you're interested or know someone who might, please see Betty Takeoka, who will put you in contact with Bryn and her family. Any other announcements, Reverend Blayne or anyone else?
Thank you, Wendy. All right, I would like, looks long, but I have to write it big because I cannot read. Okay, I'd like to thank everyone yesterday for coming out for the Cherry Blossom Festival, for helping with the mochi pounding, and especially Lynn Katayama for making the filling for the mochi for yesterday's demonstration. You know, without that filling in the mochi tastes just rice, yes, smashed rice. So really good, thank you. Our Sangha coming together made yesterday's event a festival a success. And I believe we made close to about 500 mochi, we counted. And the people sampled it. In fact, some were disappointed because we ran out. We had a line waiting to get a taste of our product. And it was really nice to see a lot of people out there. Another person who hung in there from start to finish in about 2 hours was Dean Uemura. Maybe that's why you don't see him here today. He was the turner. And after a few close calls, you could hear Dean explaining to the people who wanted to try their hand and make mochi pounding. And his last words were, 1, 2, me. And me was my turn to turn the mochi. It was kind of like give you a little giggle. Dean, you see what happens if you're watching, and when you retire, you got to do manual labor now. So then, of course, those ladies that helped actually forming the mochi, Betty, Helen, Myrna, Wendy, Mimi, Maki, and Alex, and Kira Edmondson. And of course, we had expert cutters like Lynn and her sister MJ. Now, without them, we would have mochi like this, like that, you know. So expert cutters, thank you for making that. For people who helped bring out the mochi, the equipment, setting up the tent, preparing the rice, clean the equipment. Dean Uemura, again, you know, he really is manual labor. You know, he retired in December and he's working hard. He washed the rice and he prepared it for us to take it. So, Dean, thank you. And Taiko, Alan, Taiko, Lisa, for making space in their cars to bring out the equipment and helping Morris with it, especially the heavy usu. Jules, Hiroki, Stephen, Alan, Morianne, Morris, for being the backup behind the scene things, cleaning, you even helped pounding a little bit. I was too busy concentrating on mochi making, so, you know, if I missed anyone, I'm sorry, but thank you. I want to thank you too. You know, with age and all of that, things sometimes pass me by. I had to even ask who are some of these people. So people just kind of showed up. So it's really nice, you know, thank you. And, you know, as I mentioned earlier, it took the entire Sangha of the Konohonganji that made it possible. And we couldn't have done it without everyone's contribution. And, you know, even if your contribution was very little, you know, it meant a lot because it wouldn't have happened. Mary Katayama, I can't forget her because we put her there as security for our personal belongings. She did a good job. Nobody missed anything, right? Everything there, right? Mary, you're hired. And the Boys and Girls Club, want to thank them for allowing us to use their van, taking the people out to Kamuela for the event. So what we did yesterday was actually following in this year's theme of building healthy sanghas, sharing joy together. We shared the joy of mochi making and eating with the community. So again, thank you everyone. Thank you Konohonganji Sangha for coming out and helping us on this event. Thank you. And one more thing before I forget, I'm going to start on like an ukulele thing. This month is busy, so maybe it's next month, the March 1st Sunday is okay, yeah? We have something March 1st Sunday? Oh, Ishinide. Shoot. Oh, we could. Anyway, I'll put it out in the G-hole, but if you have ukulele, you want to come and we can play together. And I know Jules plays the guitar, so Jules, your guitar is welcome. You can bring your guitar, you can play with us. But let's kind of do a kind of capella playing. We have some gathas that we can play also, but other songs. So, after refreshments, let's get together and kind of play. Thank you.
Anybody else? No? Okay. Those of you on Zoom, when you're ready to leave, just tap or click on the Leave Meeting button on your screen. Those of you here in person, refreshments will be served in the conference room. Mahalo to Maki Yamaguchi and Dharma School and anyone else who brought goodies to share. Your attendance today is most sincerely appreciated. Please stay safe, and we hope to see you at we hope to see you at the annual Kyodang membership service and meeting and luncheon. Please remember to register by February 10th or today. Thank you.
Good job, Wendy.
I didn't step on you once, right?
Good morning, everybody.